in the room. Come on in the room. Bucks win it tonight. 104-101 over the Washington Wizards. Come on in the room. Doc is our doc, the right side office, because he gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. The cream to the crossover group. Check out the dirt.
JT.
Justin.
Yeah. Three's the crowd in the building. Tonight we are here. No Chris King, still working. I think he'll be with us on Sunday as the Bucks prepare. Early start Sunday as they'll take on the Miami Heat. But tonight, the Bucks win at 104-101. We'll talk to you in the chat. We'll get at the chat. We'll talk to you on the Twitter at TCIIESQ. But a 104-101 victory for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Again, this is another short-handed victory for the Bucks. No Damian Lillard, no Bobby Portis, minutes limit Giannis, no Taurean Prince. So you had to find a way to get this win on a back-to-back against a Washington Wizards team who you know, that boy Khris Middleton, out for blood, who you know had an 8-day rest where they hadn't played basketball in 8 days. So this is a well-rested team sitting at home waiting on the Milwaukee Bucks to come in. The Bucks had a tough game the other night against the Los Angeles Clippers where they get the win, and they figure out a way to win that game. And then they come back and they beat the Washington Wizards tonight, where they were down at one point. JT talked about before the show started, down 16. They were 1 point down 19 points tonight. And again, this is basketball. What do you say? A game of runs. Whatever you want to say about the game, it is what it is. They were down 19 in the first half. Third quarter was excellent. They were up 15 with about 9 or 10 minutes to go. They're up 15. The Wizards responded with a 14-1 run, got this thing close. I believe the Wizards got it down to 2. They get it down to 2 at one point there in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. But your boy, Khris Middleton, turnover, threw the ball away. He did hit a big-time three, but then your boy, Kuzma, put the clamps on him. Clamped him up going to the whole Brook Lopez block. Then he got it down 3, got the ball, and Kuzma shut him down. Shut him down. Let me just say this. Hey, you were talking about the dunk. We were talking about the dunk contest last night, Justin, and what we saw in the All-Star weekend. What they say when Vince Carter was dunking? It's over. It's over. The debate between Kuzma and Khris Middleton is over. Kuzma, hands down, the better player. There's no, if you're arguing on any, I saw somebody try to tell me, all right, you go against the grain. No, you're going against the grain. If you're telling me that so this is head-to-head, you just saw it. If you still think Khris Middleton's a better player than Kuzma in the year of our Lord 2025, I got oceanfront property to sell you in Arizona. It's over. It doesn't happen. Kuzma's the better player. And John Horst, again, swindled. A swindle of a deal. Good job for him doing that. And then Kevin Porter Jr., you saw what he did. Let's go to it. Let's do the game recap tonight in a 104-101 victory for the Milwaukee Bucks. Kuzma, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. Semi-efficient, 8 of 19, 19 points on 19 shots. 8 of 19 tonight, 2 of 7 from 3. He did have 2 turnovers. He was a plus 12 tonight. Good job, 35 minutes on a back-to-back. Giannis, a rough night for Giannis. 18 points on 19 minutes. We'll have to talk about Giannis. He looks injured to me. He looks like he still has some pain there. I don't know. It looks like there's some issues there with Giannis. He fouls out, 18.6 boards, 3 assists, 6 of 9, though, so he was highly efficient, 6 of 11 from the free throw line. He was a +1 tonight. He had 7 turnovers. Brook Lopez, 18 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Again, looked like I didn't hit the amount of threes that he had last night, but again, another efficient, solid night from Brook Lopez. 30 minutes from him on a back-to-back. Again, he's showing that he has some worth. And this is where, again, the Bobby Portis thing really hurts you because you want to keep his minutes. You want to keep Brook's minutes down until you get to the playoffs because he's still showing you late in games. And you saw it last night against the Clippers. You saw it late tonight against the Wizards. Late in games, you drive to the room on Brook Lopez. He's able to get you some blocks. How about Ryan Rollins, who I think we've been down on a little bit? He hadn't been playing as well as Kevin Porter Jr., but tonight, Ryan Rollins, balled out. 15 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals from him, 6 of 10, 2 of 5 from 3. He was a plus 12. Ryan Rollins, I believe he has 4 games left before the Bucks have to make a decision on whether or not they're going to give him a fully guaranteed deal. We'll see if that happens for Rollins, but he made a case for it tonight. A.J. Green, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 of 9 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3. Gary Trent Jr. had a tough shooting night. 0 of 7 from 3, 4 of 13 from the field. He had 9 points and 6 boards. Fought hard, though. He was a plus 2. I thought Pat Connaughton, I just don't understand the minutes from Pat Connaughton. I mean, I get it. You have limited guys that you can go to tonight. But yeah, Pat Connaughton just didn't do it for me tonight. 4 points for him. Kevin Porter Jr., 12 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals from him. He's just super active. 5 of 10 from the field tonight from Kevin Porter Jr. How about Jericho Sims? Still, I don't believe he's taken a shot yet as a Milwaukee Buck. But 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, and he just moves his feet. He moves his feet, plays good defense, so good job.
Hey, he's a dirty work guy. That's what he is. He's a dirty work guy.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with that.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with that.
A dirty work guy, and he makes sure, again, he's one of those guys that you're right. You have switchability with him on the floor, and he's going to fight for rebounds. He's going to fight for everything. So, yeah, I'm not mad at Jericho Sims at all. On the other side of things for Washington, Khris Middleton, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 of 10, 40% from the field. Ooh, he shot. He wasn't as efficient as Kyle Kuzma. I was told it was all about efficiency. He shot 40%. Kuzma 42. Upgrade. That's what I'm talking about. 1 of 4 from 3 was Khris Middleton, including where Kyle Kuzma locked that ass up late in the game when he couldn't get that 3. I'm just saying what I saw. To say everybody has so much to say about it. That's because this is all I'm saying. This is all I'm gonna say. But no, I say he locked his ass up. I ain't say he licked his ass up. He locked him. I'm just saying, you say ain't no AO in that.
That's a ball.
He locked his ass. Yeah, I mean, AO. Justin's right. Yeah.
Locked his ass. No, y'all. Okay, I want to ask the chat. Locked his ass up. I mean, I don't know. I was at an AO. Now,
I think context is everything. Where you use that, right? You say that sentence in the wrong. It depends. It depends on the background.
Well,
context is everything.
Right, let us know.
All right, let me tell you something.
Lick versus lock is a difference.
You playing somebody on the court, and you yell out, "Yeah, I'm gonna lock your ass."
Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me in the chat. But Khris Middleton. But here's the thing, Shaky. Here's the thing on Khris. People were so loud. You got to have the apologies just as loud as disrespect. And so people were so loud on the fact that Khris Middleton was so much better. And it was such a bad trade. And oh, my God. And all we've seen is Kyle Kuzma. Again, the other thing, we're talking about the best abilities, availability. Kyle Kuzma, the only thing he's done is go out and played every single night since the trade. This is Khris Middleton's first game. And he came out. And he pissed down his leg late in the game. He had a chance to win the game, and he pissed down his leg. So all I'm saying is you're not about to sit. I'm gonna take the victory lap. I can't do anything but take the victory lap because you sat there and you cried and cried and cried, and people told me about how bad a trade this was. They told me how good Khris Middleton was. The proof's in the pudding. 12 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. If that's what you wanted, if that's what you want on 14 shooting, that's what you got. He's ass. He's ass now. Again, not 2021. Not 2021. 2025, Khris Middleton's ass. Sorry. Jordan Poole, 11 points, 5 assists tonight. A great job on him. The Bucks did a good job. Corey Kispert was really the guy that hurt the Bucks. 16 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Marcus Smart finished with 5 points. Rashawn Holmes, 7 points and 6 rebounds. Alex Sarr, 22 and 7. He had he was really hot in the first half, and then the second half kind of cooled off a little bit. But again, just on the game, the first half, Bucks looked a little out of it. But I'll just say this, man. So many people in comments and tweets or whatever. I'm looking at social media all day during this game, and people are saying that it's over. The game's over. Oh man, schedule loss. Oh no. Why do y'all cry so much? I just can't get with all. Everybody's crying. Oh no, the Bucks they can't win. We getting beat by the Wizards. It's the Wizards, man. It's the y'all crying because you down 15 to the Wizards. You crying because you're down 15 to the Wizards. You know what's about to happen. No Dame, no Giannis, nobody. Whole team out. You down 9. We down 19. Still come back and whoop their ass. We beat their ass so bad that we didn't score a field goal in the last 7 minutes of the game. That's how bad the Washington Wizards are. We basically said, hey, we're done. 7 minutes left in the game. We're good. We can walk out the floor on offense. We'll just play defense. We couldn't even score for the last 7 minutes of the game. All we think we scored on was a pair of Giannis free throws, I think, and some Brook Lopez free throws. That was it. They got nothing after that. And so you're still able to beat the Washington Wizards. All I'm saying is this, man. You got to relax. Let the game happen. Let these guys figure this out. I do think, and we'll talk about this, about Giannis, the injury, and what he's got going on. But again, I'll take it tonight, 104-101. I will 100% take a win like this on a back-to-back. It was a tough win, beating the Clippers last night, and tonight was going to be a tough one, especially with the way Washington shot the ball to start this thing off. I think they finished 12 of 39 from three, so you'll take that. The Bucks lost the three-point battle, 9 of 32 from three, but they did what they needed to do. That's all you can ask for. What'd you say? You got to take the pretty with the gritty. Tonight was a gritty win.
Absolutely.
104-101. That's what I saw, JT. What'd you say?
So you know what? You talk about letting the apology be as loud as the disrespect. And tonight, I got to go ahead and put some respect on Brook Lopez's name. Because, listen, we had seen a whole lot of bad from Brook Lopez, and feet looked like they had center blocks in the sneakers. And, it was just a lot of bad from him. But these last 2 games since this All-Star break, he's put together. He looked good against the Clippers the other night. He looked decent tonight, too. And quite honestly, we don't win tonight's game without Brook, right? Hitting those free throws. It was like 39 seconds left. Brook hitting both free throws in the clutch there to propel this team to victory. So, man, you know what, Brook? I like it. I got to give you credit. I like the way he stepped up these last couple games. We're going to need a lot more of this from Brook, especially while Bobby is out as well. And if Brook Lopez is a player who can play good in spurts, and let's figure out the maximum amount of spurts he can play, and let's make this thing happen. But got to put some respect on his name too. Now, it wasn't even that weird for me seeing Khris hit his first 2 shots coming back. As a Wizard, it was like, all right, he's our guy. But again, credit to Khris, right? Hit that nice smooth jumper at the top of the key there. I was, all right, man, I see what you're doing, right? But at the end of the day, still look like the same Khris left here, right, at this point. And I do think I agree with you. We have upgraded substantially with Kyle Kuzma at this point. Again, we don't argue that Kyle Kuzma is the better overall basketball player for his career. What we're saying is that at this time, with what the Bucks need, Kyle Kuzma is a better fit than Khris. That's just kind of what it was. And quite honestly, I don't understand how people are still crying about that because, what are you watching something different than we are? There's no way. There's absolutely no way. Again, like you said earlier, I want to give a little bit of respect to Brian Rollins, but you know what? Really got to get over Kevin Porter Jr. because, again, he has just been so consistent since he's been here in that role and coming off the bench. I hope he gets more time. I hope they got to figure out these rotations. I agree with you, Trey. I don't know why Pat played that. What is the point? I don't understand. But having said that, one thing that we talked about the last time we played the Wizards, I asked the question, is Jordan Poole the fastest player in the NBA? He's got to be one of the quickest ones. Well, tonight it didn't matter. You know why, Trey? Because what we do?
Lock that ass up.
We locked that ass right. Went ahead, locked that ass up. Right, had that man shooting out there with a pirate patch over one eye. Jordan Poole, go jump in it, man. No. But honestly, this is a good win. It was one of those things where I was watching that second quarter. I said the same thing. Like, maybe we just don't play good on back-to-backs. Maybe we're just lackluster. I don't know. We looked like we had no energy in that first half, and then we started turning it on towards the end of the second quarter. But glad to see us pull this thing out. And really, I'm really glad to see us get out here and fight in that third quarter. That's usually the third quarter, right, where folks get the halftime hangover, if you want to call it that as well. But tonight, we came out and brought it in that third quarter. Now, we ran out of juice in that fourth for a good 6-7 minutes. But, again, pretty with the gritty. I'll take this dub because it definitely could have been a no.
Well, before you go, I just say this too. To your point, though, JT, on running out of gas in the fourth. Yes, offensively, because in the second you had 31 points, you had 34 points in the third, and the fourth you only put up 20. But again, it goes back to defense and how the Bucks played defensively. They give up 24 points in the second. They give up 19 in the third. And again, you can only score 20. You only give up 26 in the fourth. So even though you didn't play as great an offensive game as you maybe wanted to in the fourth quarter, defensively, you still had your fundamentals and your principles there. You only give up 26 and you come away with a win. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. And last thing I'll say here, we got to figure out this Giannis thing. What's going on, man? I'm not overly concerned at this point, but Giannis don't look right. And the question you got to ask is, if he really didn't look right, does he just need to rest a few more games? Do we need to get that man? Because whatever's going on right now, this ain't it. I don't know the extent of the injury at this point. Is he rehabbing or not? I can see why they have him on the minutes restriction, but I kind of do have to wonder from looking at him, does he just need more rest? Do we just need to set him You need to let that man give him another week off. I don't know, but this does not at this point look like it's going to work with what they're doing with Giannis and how he looks.
But I know what you can't do. What you can't do is give him Bobby Portis assistant.
Yeah, I got
and give him no and let Bobby Portis assistant give him no drugs. That's all. Anyway, go ahead.
You talk about the Bobby Portis assistant that had a prescription for a drug that was banned.
Right.
We're gonna have to rehash that because I wasn't here for it last night. You know I got to speak on that eventually, but let me let Justin go.
I got some answers for y'all from Doc, man. I got Doc's thoughts.
All right, let's see.
So he said they came out with the right intention in the second half, stopped the turnovers, and they started moving the ball. In the last 5 minutes of the basketball game, Doc basically said they just straight up stopped hooping, started trying to bleed the clock down and trying to get to the end of the basketball game. One of the reasons these guys were so tired, they got in at, I think he said 3:15 in the morning.
I hate that. I hate
the minute restrictions is really starting to throw Giannis's rhythm off.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The minute restrictions got Giannis looking a little bit wonky. I agree with that. Kuz doing a good job getting downhill. I think that's a Doc Rivers staple in every press conference. Somebody's getting downhill. He said Brooklyn Book came back in the second half, and the reason what they're talking about was Brooklyn Book. God, I can't speak tonight. His back to the basketball game is amazing, but also he can hit his free throws. I think the guy shoots 87% on the year. At the end of the game, the one negative mark we're gonna put on Kyle Kuzma, that shot when Brook had old skinny dude posted up, one of them young boys from Washington. But we're gonna give Doc said Kuz, we're gonna give Kuz some grace on that for the hero ball. It was hero ball. The trade took so long for Khris Middleton to get to Washington because Doc Rivers did not want to give up Chris King's favorite basketball player, AJ Johnson. He thought that AJ is going to be absolutely amazing, and he's going to be a player in this league for a long time. And he just said the team is really starting to get together with getting some of these new guys built in, man. I just wanted to say, man, this is our first on back-to-backs with a road game of the year. And I'm thrilled about that. I saw a lot of gigs. I mean, I saw Trent trying to find tribute, even though 3-point shot tonight. I agree with both of you on the Giannis thing. So if he's not going to be able to get rhythm with this restriction that we have, then maybe we do sit him down for a couple games, man. This would have been a perfect one to sit him out against the Washington Wizards. I think we still could have won that game, man. But, all things are right in the world. We got to win. It's a big day for the 414 for basketball, so let's go.
Absolutely. Big day for the Bucks. Big day for the 4-on-4. 104-101. The Bucks beat the Wizards. Let's see what we got going in the chats. Lag says we got some hoopers now. Louis Lamont says fear the deer. KPJ and Kuz balling as usual. He also says notice how the Bucks been playing good defense. Only allow 101 points again coming off a back-to-back. And Lag says at no point in this game was I scared. I'm with you there. Deshaun Hill says the Wizards got it down to 1. Okay, so yeah, so they did get it down to 1. And then one more here. Anthony Lay says they got to start giving Sims the ball on some of those rolls to the basket to keep the defense honest. We talked a little bit about that last night as well. And then John Hass says Kuzma's way better than Middleton. Yeah, I think that when you talk about that last possession, I'll say this: let's go to the last 7 minutes of the basketball game, right, where the Bucks had trouble scoring, and even when Giannis got back into the game and what he looked like, I think to me what I saw was the ball was moving, everything was good, like from the end of that third and even some of that fourth, they were fine. And then they inserted Giannis back into the game once it got down to I think they got it down to 10, and they brought Giannis in. And I think the ball stopped because, again, and I think one of the issues is if Giannis sits, and it's tough, this is tough for Doc Rivers because Giannis is a rhythm player. A lot of guys are rhythm players. Well, when you don't play and this is more than just, I don't remember when he came out in the third quarter. But let's just say it was 10 minutes of actual game time, right? Let's say it was 10 minutes of actual game time or whatever it was. That's 25 minutes of just actual time where you're just sitting. That you don't really do that in a game unless you sat out some before going to half, come back. There's just not a lot of times where Giannis, especially a guy who plays a ton of minutes like Giannis does, is sitting for 20, 25 minutes at a time and having to come back into the game cold. Not only is he coming back into the game cold, but he's coming back. It's a 10-point game, fourth quarter with 6 minutes to play or 7 minutes to play or whatever it is. Hey, go finish the game. Got to win this game. So, yes, the ball, I thought the ball stopped. I thought he came in and stopped the ball a little bit. Marcus Johnson on the broadcast said as much where he said, you know, when Giannis fouled out, he kind of said, oh, that might be a blessing in disguise because Giannis is now out. I think these guys can go win it. Now, they didn't. And, yeah, I just don't think it ever got back once that happened. And you're right. I thought the shot from Kuzma wasn't a good one. But yeah, I agree. Give him a little grace. We'll figure that out. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was one of those things, you talk about hero ball. I thought it was one of those things where Kyle Kuzma, you know, we talk a lot about Khris, you know, playing the Bucks, but Kyle Kuzma was playing the Wizards too, right? Like this was Kyle Kuzma playing against his team. You know he wanted that dagger. That he wanted that dagger in Washington. So I get it. Yeah, the right play was to pass the ball to Brook Lopez, but Kuzma was having a decent game. 19, 8, and 5. Yeah, you know, I didn't necessarily mind it. Kuzma had the most points scored. Actually, was your leading point scorer for the Bucks tonight. So I didn't necessarily mind it. You know, it wasn't the right play, but I didn't mind it. But yeah, I thought the ball just stopped a little bit, and then Giannis picked up 6 fouls. And somebody talked about Scott Foster, man. I mean, that 5th foul, I hated that call because Scott Foster's so far away from the play, and it's like the other refs are going to let it go. And again, you have to know who you're officiating. It's Giannis. He's a superstar. I'm not saying you don't call fouls on him. I'm just saying that's one you probably should let go. But yeah, Giannis, you know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I just thought that was tough. But yeah, ball has to keep moving. End of the day, ball has to keep moving.
Well, yeah, right. But this is kind of what Scott Foster does, man. And I agree with you. You probably should have swallowed your whistle there. And I get it. It just was a. All right. I mean, it just kind of swallowed your whistle. That's a 6.75 on the 10-point scale. You know. But anyway, yeah, you know, and that was what was heartbreaking too. Just to watch out in foul trouble. Say what? I can't hear you.
That was higher than 6.75, big dog.
All right.
Oh man,
I lost my train of thought dealing with you fellas.
I might have to go out and come back in.
All right, yeah, I think he is lagging a little bit. So yeah, try it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he kind of freezing.
Yeah, he's freezing a little bit, but that's all right.
Too many light-skinned brothers in the same room. That's the issue. That's the issue. Team light-skin shining too bright tonight.
We got a super chat from William Arrange. He says Giannis will be okay if we are concerned about someone giving us 18 points on the minutes restriction and foul trouble. I think we're in a good place. So that means Justice come back. So I will have to make a new link for you. So I'll get you in a second here once John goes. But let's talk about Giannis for a second. You know, so it's he's having the calf issue, right? Like we know that's been a problem, and it remains a problem for him. And
this is the same calf as last year, right?
I think so. I think that's the same calf. The question is, do you want him playing the 18, 19, 20-minute mark and trying to play through that, or do you give him extended rest? I think that's your real question is how hurt is he really? Bad says yes. Giannis' calf looks like last year. He looks a little slow, jump lacks height, and much less explosiveness. But even that, I can't. I just don't know because he's only played a couple games. I mean, but again, remember last night against the Clippers, he had that monster. Was that the third last night against the Clippers where he had that monster third quarter, or was it monster four? I can't remember. Where he looked like he had all the explosions, like he had all the things that you wanted to see from Giannis as he was coming back and figuring this thing out. But yeah, I think that's your question. Would you rather have 20, 25 minutes of Giannis every night and trying to see if you can if that will hold, or do you really try to give him the two? Again, but here's another question to go along with that, John. I'll let you go. But here's another question that goes along with that. You're in a standings battle right now where you are. So you won tonight, so you're a half game out of 4. This isn't like years past where you're second and third in the East, and yeah, it really doesn't matter. Like you are still 5. You're ahead of the play-in. You don't want to finish 6th. Like I get it. You're 2 games ahead of Detroit, and I know we always talk about standings and standings. You don't want to start off playing the Knicks. I know they got destroyed tonight by the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm not saying you got to be scared of the Knicks. you don't want to start. You don't want round 1 to be New York Knicks. You'd much rather it be where you are right now, Indiana, and you'd much rather have the Indiana series versus playing the Knicks. So there is a standings component that you have to think about when you're trying to ascertain whether Giannis should play, whether he shouldn't play.
Yeah, so this is where the loss of Bobby really, really hurts, right? Because you don't even have. I mean, this is a tough spot because my issue is if Giannis is really hurt right now, which he is. There's no question about that. I'm not doubting that. Giannis is one of the toughest players in the league. There's no question he's really hurt right now. The question you have to ask though is, by playing him 18 to 20, are you exacerbating things? Is this a pain management thing? Is it because at the end of the day, as Bucks fans, the most important thing to us is the end game. We don't really care that much about the regular season. We care more about the playoffs. And I guess one question that you do have to ask is, yeah, but if you play him right now and he's hurt and he really can't go or really shouldn't be going, does that lead to an extended absence a month down the road? That's a fair question, I think, right? Because he just does not look right and he looks hobbled. And playing in these back-to-backs and playing on that's not going to help things. Like that, I just don't see that help. So is it a situation where you're better off resting Giannis for 2 weeks, trusting your talent, and saying, listen, fellas, y'all got to go out there and get a win. Y'all got to go out here and make this happen. Like there's no question about it. Now some people will say, well, this team's not good enough to win without. I mean, can you go 500 while he's out? Can you split some? Can you at least put up half? I mean, when does Dame come back?
Well, I think Dame will be back. I think there's just a spot absence for him. And I know again he was on the minutes limit too. So again, that's another question. That's what I'm saying here. Like that's the real question because I think if Dame is clear, provided that Dame is fully healthy, I think about sitting Giannis out for a few games, get him right. Because this version of Giannis is very good, but it's not. I mean, unfortunately, just the way this team is, we need MVP Giannis, right? Like we do need MVP Giannis. And I'm just my concern here as a Bucks fan is does this lead to a long extended absence if we keep playing him and he's not right? Justin, I think we got you. Justin, can you hear me?
Yeah, so that's what scares me is just not having that guy in the playoffs, man, because we saw what pushing through this regular season and getting another Central Division championship will do for the Milwaukee Bucks. That doesn't really move me or move us, I don't think. So I agree with you, but hopefully Dame will be back Sunday because they said it's just a little bit of growing discomfort, and Doc was kind of hinting at he's a little bit too old to be hanging out like that in All-Star weekend, and he's kind of fatigued from that. So maybe there's some of that to deal with it, but hopefully Dame will be back Sunday. I think you can rest him against the Miami Heat without a Jimmy Butler there anymore. I mean, you just got to find a way to contain what's the boy named Tyler Hero, but we should be fine, man. We should be all right. I didn't check the schedule to see who we got after that, but at least let the guy he rest for the next couple of days, man. And I'm sure getting up and out in and out of those planes at 6'11" doesn't help your calf out either.
I want to ask you guys. So Iron Man Clan and Charles Miller are asking about Tyler Smith. They said this is why not playing Tyler Smith is looking very questionable right now. Do you want to? I mean, I guess the question: do you want to see Tyler Smith minutes? Is that something that's intriguing you at all when you look at Tyler Smith and whether he should play? I don't know. I mean, again, I think it's good at least. Jericho Sims has gotten in 15, 20 minutes or so. You want to see him be able to score the basketball, or like people talk about the lobs and whatnot. You want to see a little bit of that. We haven't seen it just yet. But you know, I think that again they're watching it more than we are. I don't know that Tyler Smith is ready yet to contribute on an NBA roster. I don't know. The same deal with AJ Johnson. Like AJ Johnson clearly wasn't ready to contribute like some of the other guys. But any Iron Man and Charles want to ask you guys about Tyler Smith.
Listen, the way I see it at this point, right? With if Giannis is potentially going to be out, or Giannis is going to be on a minutes restriction, Bobby's out till just about the last week of the season. We got a horse. We got to run him. I do think you see what you got. Let me give you a few. See what you got. Can you make plays out there? You look completely lost. You look completely overwhelmed. Can you find this? Can you find a niche? Can you get out there? Can you get out there and be something more than wall art? Can you do that? Can you get out there and be a net positive for this team while you're out there? I don't know, but I do think that at some point you got to run what you got. You got to see. We got to give him something. So yeah, if he's going to be on the roster, we got to give him something. If not, we're going to have to make a decision to make.
Yeah, I thought he's looked good in some of the garbage time minutes that he's had, but I mean, I understand that's playing against a lower graded competition. The only way you're truthfully going to know how good he can be against these guys that are out there that play on a night in, night out basis in the NBA is give him a chance. I'm not opposed to it. Even Liam Robbins, I would give him a chance too. We just need some big bodies that can rebound, contest the rim, and get the ball to these other guys. We got plenty of wings that can score the ball, from Kevin Porter Jr. to Gary Trent Jr. to Dame to Kuz. We got enough wings that can score the ball. So I don't need necessarily 20 and 20 from my big, and get Brook off of his feet, man, because the most important thing is his playoff push. We trying to get a parade down Wisconsin Avenue again.
Yeah, and speaking of those wings, I guess the only thing that somewhat concerns me, and again, we talked about this before, Kevin Porter Jr. really looks like our third best. He looks like our. You have Giannis who can create his own shot. You have Dame can create his own shot. Kevin Porter Jr. might be the third best guy that can create his own shot. Is that seems like it could be a problem because again, when I look at Kyle Kuzma, and again, it is so hard. We're gonna talk about Kuz and Khris Middleton in a second here, but it is so hard to judge Kyle Kuzma because again, what he's been brought into, and that's why I give him a lot of credit, because what he's been brought in here to do is to play with Dame, play with Giannis, and be that guy that does a lot of different things and kind of shores up, gives you hustle, gives you energy, does just the little things all over the floor. I give you an example tonight where Kyle Kuzma, because people get to the efficiency, they talk about the stats. Kyle Kuzma does so many things. You got to watch him. The things he does don't show up on a stat sheet. Somebody turned the ball over. I can't remember who did it. It wasn't Kuzma, even though he did have a couple tonight. There was a turnover. Kuzma is, and this is any other night, this is an open layup, open dunk. Kuzma runs down the floor, almost gets a clean block, but fouls whoever it was. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Sar. Fouls whoever it was. Guy goes to the line, misses both free throws. That is just as good as a made basket. Because otherwise, that is 2 points that we are giving you, and Kyle Kuzma doesn't give one a play. Those are the type of plays that I'd like to see. And again, those loom even larger when you have Dame, when you have a fully healthy roster, when everybody's going. You asked the question, or we're talking about like with Doc and the hero ball. I don't worry. That doesn't worry me. Him taking that shot that he took in the end of the game doesn't worry me, because he should be out there with Giannis and Dame, and he know damn well you ain't getting that shot without Giannis and Dame. But when you look up and it's Brook and AJ Green and Gary Trent who done missed some shots tonight, I got just as good a shot hitting this shot as anybody else. Like, I can see where you come up with that mindset. But yeah, he's got to be on the floor with the actual horses, with the actual dogs. Just by the way he's played the last 6 games, however long he's been here with the Bucks, I see he will not take that shot. We agree. That was a bad shot. He won't take it when he's out there with those guys. So it's just very tough for me to evaluate his thought process, his IQ, what he's been doing when he's not out there with the group that he needs to be out there with for all those things to come to fruition.
I would agree with that, and I do. And I think the thing is, because he hasn't really been able to play with Giannis and Dame like that too. Yeah, Trey, you're 100% right. His, it's a little more weight in his backpack, so right. Like, his backpack's a bit heavier than it ideally would be if he had his guys out there. Having said that, though, Kyle Kuzma looks like he has stepped up. He looks like he has stepped up and at least tried during this stretch too. He's taken on a bit more of what his typical role would be, but I mean, I agree. I'm not worried about that shot because there's no way he's getting that shot ever if Giannis and Dame are healthy. Or, I mean, if he is, right, it's probably a bit more they're going to get him a better look than whatever that was tonight. So.
Right.
So when Kuz came over to the bench, I forgot to mention that in the Doc press conference. Doc said that Kuz also said that was a bad shot, his bad. He knew he should have hit Brook. And that to me, that's winning basketball. All the people that talk about how bad he was in Washington, and I'm not going to lie, I thought he was bad in Washington too, but it's like what we talked about last night, Trey. It's crabs in the barrel. You with a bunch of, now we about to go on Cam Newton stuff. You with a bunch of bums, you going to be a bum. It just is what it is.
What I tell y'all about standing by the sprinkler with somebody peeing in it. What I tell you?
Man, that's all I'm saying.
Everybody's covered. Everybody's covered in it. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's covered in it. And when everybody's covered in it, you can't tell the difference between one another because it's just a bad situation. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. It's been that way with the Wizards since what? I mean, John Wall and Bradley Beal, right? That's the only time the Wizards in our lifetime have not stunk. I mean, I guess Chris Webber and Juwan Howard had a couple years in the, kind of in the late 90s.
Gilbert Arenas is out there doing his thing.
I mean, I guess. That's right. Yeah, they matched up with LeBron. Yeah, but that's I 100% agree with you, Justin. Right? Or again, you know what? I talk about peeing on the sprinkler. It's a fart in the elevator. All y'all are suspect. If you're in there when it happens. If I get on the elevator and it smells like it's cooking in there, every single person in the elevator is a suspect because I can't tell the difference between who let that thing go or not. I just know I need to get in and get out.
Yeah, well,
that's all I'm saying.
Well, that's the thing. If you the culprit, you do it, and then you just start looking around.
Right. But if somebody steps in the elevator, they're looking at all y'all stink. That's what I'm thinking. Like, hey, who let the stand go? Right, and that's my whole point. Is you just can't tell the difference.
100%. Go. You got something, Justin?
That's when you got to try to hold your breath for 4 flights.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying that's when you try to hold your breath for 4 flights. But now the fart is gone out the elevator, the piss is gone out the sprinkler, and now look at the dude. He's chasing down dudes like Trey mentioned on the wide open thing. And where have we seen a guy in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform do that? The greatest player walking this earth. So I think it's all about where he is, his environment that he's in. He's with a bunch of winners now. Hey, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm shining my stuff up, man. I'm ready to go to Wisconsin Avenue and get crazy with JT, Trey, and Chris King, man. It's going to be a party. I might do like J.R. Smith and take my shirt off for a month straight.
There you go. But again, that's what we talked about initially when Kyle Kuzma came, and that's what you're always doing when you're talking about trades, when you talk about bringing somebody to your organization, whatever. The thought process is the reason he acts like that, the reason he plays like that, the reason he's doing that. It's you, it's your organization, it's Washington. He won't do that in my organization. Same thing off the court. The off the court problems that somebody's having somewhere else, he won't have those here. That's what you're banking on. That's what you're seeing right now with Kyle Kuzma. Let's stay on Kuzma and Khris Middleton. What'd you see? Again, because everybody's talking. That's a lot of the topic of discussion. What'd you guys see out of Khris Middleton tonight? Did you have any buyer's or I guess ask this? Did you have buyer's remorse when watching Khris Middleton and seeing Kyle Kuzma in person? Well, not in person, but together on the floor at the same time. Did you look and I think a lot of people when Khris hit that first jumper, I think people was like, oh man, I saw it on the timeline. People, oh man.
Well, he hit both of his shots, both of his first shots, right? He had that shot down there by the paint. He had the top of the key shot afterwards. He hit both of those. Yeah, I saw people. What they didn't know was that he was only going to hit a couple more the entire rest of the night.
Right.
What they didn't know was a string of misses was coming. I'll go first. I had absolutely no regret at all. Look, I get it. You're a legend here. I don't feel this level of nostalgia. I don't. I think that is a loser mentality. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Like sometimes you got to part ways with your stars. I understand that. All the tears on everybody's pillow is not gonna bring his legs back, right? Trey, what his ankles like? all them tears on the pillow not gonna tighten up the ligaments. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. And look. I feel bad for Khris because he's such a good player. He's such a good guy.
He's a good guy.
It's just one of the most terrible organizations. And I would be mad. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's bad blood there. No, you're not going to see it in the Milwaukee Journal, Sentinel, or whatever. But you can't tell me right now that he's not upset. Not so much that he got traded from the Bucks, that he ended up on a damn Wizards. You just can't tell me he's just like, this is crazy. Like, there's no way he's played at a high level for so long. On a team that's been one of the best teams in the East for the last 5-6 years at least, to the Wizards, to the Doldrums. Do they even got 10 wins yet?
No.
They got 8.
Oh
my God.
No.
Oh my God. Right. Like, so, no, I didn't feel it. In fact, honestly, tonight, I mean, it kind of just reinforced why we needed to make the trade for Kuzma. And it really just kind of showed us the value that Kuzma brings to the table and how much better of a fit he is for the team at this point. I don't think you can argue that at this point. You really can't.
DJ Droop TV with the super chat. Shout out DJ Droop. This is his 20th super chat on the live streams he's been doing. So 20 super chats for DJ Droop. Shout out to him. He done got more super chats than Khris Middleton score points tonight. He says tonight proved that the Bucks made the right move. And I agree with you wholeheartedly that this was one of those nights where you see it. I thought he did. I thought the Bucks did. They made the right move. I'll go in. Yeah, no, I have any buyer's remorse. Now, will I admit, was I slightly scared when the Bucks are down 3 and 5 seconds ago? I was like, oh, Khris, this is the moment. This is like one of the things where this is the moment for Khris. But I should have had a little more faith in my dog, Kyle Kuzma. He was good. He was gonna lock that ass up. But yeah.
No, what did I tell y'all about the sprinkler? No, I wasn't worried about it. It's quicksand, man. You go to some organizations and guys that are great just look bad. Things don't happen. I wasn't worried about that. Because it's the Wizards, man. You cannot outrun organizational dysfunction. Can't do it.
The only thing that I hate about Khris is that he couldn't retire a Buck. But I think, and I believe it's Jim Orzowski who wrote that article on JS Online today.
Yeah.
It was a great article about Middleton. He talked about how when he was informed right before the Hornets game that he was going to be traded, he got in his car and he drove to Charleston, South Carolina, where he's from. Like, I think this rocked his world. Hey, yo. It rocked a lot of Bucks fans' world, and it completely turned it all upside down, man. And it's okay. This was a legend, but I tell all you Bucks fans, because we know some of y'all just got here when Giannis and Middleton got here, and that's okay. But to see the guys that I rooted for, because when I was growing up in the 80s, the Bucks were a great basketball team. They were really good. They just couldn't get past French Link's own Larry Bird and those dudes over there because they were even better. But I saw guys as a little kid. You trying to explain it to someone in their 40s. Imagine someone at 7 who's grew up his whole life rooting for Paul Pressey and Terry Cummins, and you turn on the San Antonio Spurs, and those dudes are on the Spurs. So guys are going to get traded, and it's going to happen. You read that article. If you folks haven't read it, I suggest you read it. It's a great article. It talks a lot just about how Khris was so ingrained into this Milwaukee culture, and he's one of us. But at the same time, I cannot watch Kyle Kuzma play defense and rebound the basketball and say that John Horst or the Milwaukee Bucks made the wrong move. It's just impossible to say that, in my opinion. And if you are saying that, and I see all the homies coming at Trey on Twitter, probably because he's more active than all of us when it comes to Buck stuff on Twitter, but they had his neck like a violin. Shout out to Wayne. Oh, man. Hey, Kuzma this, Middleton. Look, whatever advanced stats you want to use, whatever plus minus you want to use, all that stuff, you may be able to skew those numbers in your favor. But the fact of the matter, the only thing that matters to me is that eye test. Kyle Kuzma is pushing the ball better. He's passing the ball better. He's rebounding the ball. He's scoring the ball. And he's playing every game.
A lot more explosive.
You can't argue with the trade.
Doing the dirty work, setting screens. Kyle Kuzma, I mean, look, it kind of is what it is at this point. But here's one point that I will make, too. Just because Khris does not finish the season with the Bucks doesn't mean he can't retire a Buck.
Right.
There's a chance that Khris could be back in a few years. There's a chance. I mean, bad blood here. Honestly, at this point, Khris, what he has, I think he has an option on this contract, right? He can opt in next year for the Wizards. I think that's right. Who knows? You have absolutely no idea. But I'm confident that Khris is going to retire a Buck. That jersey is going to go up in the rafters, 100%. But the other point I'm going to make is this: 2021 is a long time ago, and I say that because the Khris trade. Right, breaking up the band, breaking up the vibes from 2021. Guys, it's time to move on. We've got to move on from that. Pat Connaughton is probably gone. I think probably after this year, if they can move him. Bobby Portis is probably gone after this year, if they can move him. Brook Lopez is probably gone after this year. So I say all that to say that, hey, we got to get used to this. We got to have turnover. If you want this team to take another step, if you want this team to try to legitimately chase another title, I do think you're going to have to one, reconcile with the fact that you need to get better as a team, and 2, reconcile the fact that players that have been great for us for a long time are no longer great for us now. That's just kind of the way this thing works. So, it's kind of sad because you've seen Drew, you've seen Khris in back-to-back seasons, you've seen both of them gone, and you know that more changes are going to come with likely one of, if not all of, Bobby, Brook, and Pat. You just know that's inevitable. And I think as Bucks fans, we got to reconcile with that fact. You either want to win, you want to have another parade down Wisconsin Avenue, or you don't. But you can't stand pat with what you got and just live on vibes. Yeah, man, 2021, right? Like, I mean, what's that doing for you in 2025?
And it's a good point you bring up when you talk about the other guys going too, and you talk about buyer's remorse from Khris or whatnot. But this should show you that this trade should show you this is the direction this thing should go. Because what do we ask when the trade happened and what we've been seeing? This team is better now than they were prior to the deadline. So this should show you that getting younger, getting more athletic, getting a little more depth, that should be the way, that should be the direction that you're moving. You don't give up on your foundational piece of Giannis. You keep your foundational piece of Giannis, but around him, you cannot continue to age. He is aging. He's going to continue to age. He's continue to have the injuries that pop up, the calf or whatnot. So around him, you've got to have more guys. You can't have everybody getting old and older and aging and, oh, we're all out and, oh, more work. I want to put less work on Giannis because what I know is in the playoffs, I want Giannis to play 35, I want 35, 37, 45. I want to play 45 minutes if he got to in the playoffs. That's when I need him, right? I can't do that if guys and talk about that article, Khris Middleton. I think he mentioned that he understood why it happened. You can't have guys that are missing games. If I have an older and age, I don't know what we call him age. He's 30 years old, but you get what I'm saying. Giannis plays with such explosiveness and such force that he is going to age quicker. You saw it happen with Blake, and again, I just never want it to happen with Blake Griffin. What happened to Blake Griffin, where Blake Griffin's entire game was based on his athleticism. Yeah. He gets to Detroit, he can't ever dunk. He never dunks again. And then you go to Brooklyn, and he's a shell of himself. Like, that's not what you want to be. And you see Giannis working on his game. But again, around Giannis, you've got to get younger. You got to get the KPJs. You got to get the Kyle Kuzmas. You got to get the, even a Jericho Sim. You got to get the same thing with Brook as an anchor even for this year. You've got to get younger around those guys. So, yeah, no, I don't have buyer's remorse at all. I thought, again, to me, head-to-head, Kyle Kuzma played a better game. He's been more active. He's done more in the 6 games he's been here. Again, we're not talking about 2021. We're not even talking about last year. We're just talking about what he has left in the tank. And Kyle Kuzma just has more energy. I mean, it's one of those things where if you have kids, like, you understand that, like, kids just have, kids they just want to run. They just want to move. Yep. And you're like, I just want to, I get in, I'm talking for myself. I get in, I want to sit. The kids want to move. Yep. That's just what they want to do. That is Khris Middleton is the guy. He wants to sit. The other guy, Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr., those guys want to move, and you're seeing it. That's all.
Well, and that's a really good point you bring up, Trey, because essentially what you're saying, right? This is how I'm going to translate it. If you want to maximize Giannis's window, right? If you want to do that, you have to balance Giannis aging with taking advantage of Giannis in his prime. And the only way you can do that is to really get younger around him. Like, that's the only way you're going to be able to do that, right? Because, again, we don't want that man having to play 40 minutes a night in the regular season, right? And then go into the postseason when we know there's injuries and we know there's wear and tear there, too. And you bring up an example of Blake Griffin. Now, personally, I think Giannis is just a much deeper bag than Blake Griffin does. Yeah. I think that they're not the same players, but those are two guys who have those are two big who have very, very explosive games. And I do think that injuries, especially lower body extremity injuries, when you start talking about ankle, knee, and hip, that'll chip away at your athleticism once you start getting up there in age. No question about that. And you start aging in dog years. So I say that to say that, yes, we want to take advantage of this window that we have with Giannis as he enters and as he continues to the prime of his career. But we can't do that if we are not willing to move some of these guys who are aging and can no longer do what we need them to do.
I'm not going to blame the Giannis calf or the Dame injury in the playoffs on a Khris or on a whatever. But, I mean, I think both of you brought up great points. And if you want to look, Bucks fans, if you want to look at someone whose lower body has just completely given out on him, look at Khris Middleton. Like, JT, you just talked about the championship was 4 years ago. In 4 years, that man looks like a shell of himself. So in order to keep Giannis fresh and young, we got to keep getting these dogs in here, like you said, Trey, like you said, JT, like a KPJ who's not afraid to take that shot. He going to take you off the dribble, and he going to dunk on you. He going to dunk on your mama, and you going to catch his word. And I love it. Look at Kuzma. Look, Kuzma's the type of cat, he can drop 45 one night and score 8 the next night. But you know what? He's going to come in every single day and do all the small things that Giannis was doing. He's going to pick it up. Then we need Sims to come in, block a few shots. I mean, he may have had one block tonight, but he definitely altered a lot of stuff. That takes pressure off of Brook. Hey, man, the worst thing that we can do, and not to take it to a different sport, is sit there like my beloved Green Bay Packers did with 4-12 and just expect them guys to carry us to another one.
Yeah.
Giannis can't do it by himself. He didn't do it by himself the first time, and he won't do it by himself this time. So, look, and Sammy's absolutely right. And they're talking about he's the president of the K-Mid fan club, but he gave Kuzma his flowers. Dude was solid. Hey, and you're right. Khris is always going to be a Bucks legend. But, I mean, man, I can't – it's like a lot of people, man. And, Trey, you got a lot more patience than I got because these jokers want to argue Khris Middleton all day. Look, man, he's not a Buck no more. We love him. We'll see you again. You talking about them kids running around, man. I got a 4-year-old grandson, and I'm an old man. I'm like, yo, please sit down. Please sit down.
And by the way, kids, that's a different story. I'm sure we'll get there. But by the way, you guys may have said this last night. By the way, if this team was going to get better this year, it looks like the only real option that we had at the deadline was probably going to be Khris or Brook, I'm assuming, because Bobby clearly wasn't going to be an option. If you know, now that they knew that the suspension was pending too, that's why we couldn't. That's probably why we did not move Bobby at that. So that even justifies it a bit more by saying that this Bucks team was going to improve or have a fighting chance this season. You had to get rid of one of your core pieces from that 2021 run, which was Khris Middleton. It looks a lot clearer. It's a lot more justified at this point. So, something to think about as we kind of dive into the tail end of this season. We look at kind of where we're at with personnel at this point.
You guys know where things are also. You talk about getting clear, have some clarity. You know where you get some clarity at?
Curly's.
Yes, sir. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Chat, man, you got to make your way out to Pewaukee, Wisconsin, Lake Pewaukee. Get out to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill for every televised Milwaukee Bucks game, national TV, $3 bottles and pints at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. And on Wednesdays and Thursdays, get out there next week because you know what they're doing on Wednesdays and Thursdays?
Bingo and trivia.
And you know what you get if you do well in bingo and trivia?
Free Bucks tickets.
Bucks tickets.
Get JT's Bucks tickets.
Get JT's Bucks tickets. Section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2. Get out there, man. Enjoy yourself. Have some fun out at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Tell them the Groove sent you. Tell them the Cream City Crossover sent you. And yeah, man, just go out there, enjoy some good food, some good eats, some good things. Tip your service when you go out there. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, proud sponsor of the Cream City Crossover. Go ahead, JT.
And I want to add one more thing. If you get out there and you find yourself finding too much clarity, make sure you Uber, Lyft, or get a ride home. You don't want you finding clarity on the side of the highway getting pulled over.
There you go. And shout out to Alpha Leopard. It was in here last night, but it says another hard win. I'll take it less. LFG Bucks. Death, taxes, Cream City Crossover, bringing the best content every night.
Appreciate Alpha Leopard.
And
yes,
Alpha
sir.
says he's gonna go out to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. So please do it. We appreciate it greatly. Let's see what they're talking about.
We should host a show out there. We should really host a show out there. We should host a show out there. Go ahead.
Well, we're gonna send Alpha Leopard out there next Thursday with JT's credit card because that's the next nationally televised $3 joint. So JT got the big
slide on the Amex.
Slide that black card. There you go.
That's the Centurion card. I ain't got that. I got to hit this man. To get the Centurion card, because I looked into it, you got to spend like $1 million within a certain time.
Man.
With Amex. Yeah, you got to spend.
That's how you know how much JT got, because he looked into it. I ain't had to look into it. I ain't even know none of that. I ain't had to look into it.
No, sir.
So that mean by next year you're going to have it. Next year you're going to have it. That's okay. I see you, JT. Hey, what they say? Can't hide money.
I mean, I'm sure they make exceptions. No, sir. Hey, not Trey Croc. No, Trey.
You can't hide money.
I ain't gonna get in this dude, Trey. Trey got money. Let me tell you, Trey got a job with stock options. Stop playing.
Nah, man.
Trey got a job with stock. Trey's stock is trading at $300 a share right now.
Come on now.
Come on, man.
JT.
And they just dump those shares on that man's desk.
Rolling over there.
Let's
go to the.
Go ahead. for the poor dude on the show, we need more sponsors. So all y'all in the chat, give me some sponsors so I get these gray hairs out of my beard and stuff, man. Brother over here struggling while these brothers got stock.
What you try? You trying to go to the hairport, Justin? You trying to go to the hairport? You want Hair Jordan to work on you?
Yeah, man. Hey, I tried to get that Jadakiss flight to Turkey.
Hey man, you could Turkish Air. Y'all seen that? Y'all have not seen? Have y'all seen that picture of all them dudes in the airport with little hair bandage around their joint?
I so they on one side and the BBL people on the other side. Is that what they had?
I don't know.
They with the bandages, and then you had the women in the wheelchairs going down the aisle.
I don't know. I don't know if Turkey giving out BBL. Some countries, you know, they'll.
I know they're going out the country. I don't know where they're going. They're going out the country for them too.
Man, I heard men are getting BBL on.
That's okay.
That's crazy.
Going to get that Kyle Lowry.
Hey yo! Oh
wow.
Oh wow! We're off the rails. Here we go. Well, we made it a good hour.
Let's go to the Twitter. Then we'll do game balls. Let's see this on Twitter. At the Wideminator says Kuzma right now is a much better player than Middleton. And this is a fantastic move to help. Once Giannis and Lillard are both healthy, having Kuzma as that solid third scoring option is going to be beneficial, especially in the postseason. At BuckyBacker09 says wins are good, even with low IQ ball and careless turnovers. Negatives. Why PC minutes? Green and Gary Trent Jr. either 15 plus in clutch or painful to watch. Green has a motor on D. A motor on D is crazy, but all over the place. KPJ and Kuz are not perfect, but never appear complacent. At Jay Horvath says, Giannis is not right. No lift. Does not trust that calf. Scary. Is he ever going to be right again for a full season? Gut check win, but something just isn't right with the best player. NYC Randy says, I wish we didn't go scoreless for the last 5 minutes, but besides that, I love what I saw. We won the trade. Bucks fans got to stop being delusional. Middleton on a team where he could shoot all the shots looked like he looked with us. Mid. Kuz control and KPJ is nice. I don't give a F. I'll do a couple more here. At Long Live Killer says, what are they not telling us about the Giannis injury? Quick Draw McGraw says, I'm sorry. Bucks Nation had to see what most objective fans already knew. Khris is washed. At Lil Casper says, Scott Foster should effing retire. I hate that man. I'll do two more. At the Disruptor says, this was a bad performance. It could have been an embarrassing loss. The schedule's becoming brutal in a week or so. Every game will be a fight. Giannis, Dame, and Doc should get their shit together because we aren't out of the play-in territory yet. Come on, stop crying. And then we'll do the last one. At Bloodhound1 says, I predicted 12-4-4 from Khris. I was pretty close. He's just not that guy anymore. It was no fear in my heart he would light us up. So all over the place again. Consensus there. Khris Middleton's washed, and you had a couple people saying that Bucks gotta step it up a little bit. Let's do game balls. Where we going?
We ain't getting nothing from the.
What's up?
We ain't getting nothing from the Wisconsin kid. Brook Lopez played 2 good games back in a row, and he missing in action, man. You acting like Coach RJ.
Unless I missed something, I didn't see anything from the Wisconsin kid tonight. Yeah, he's usually in here. He usually has the chat.
What we talking about?
He didn't have this guy, the Wisconsin kid on Twitter. He usually is every night gonna have some type of comment, but Justin jokes that like every night he every game he usually bashes Brook Lopez and stuff. But Brook been playing well the last couple nights. He ain't said
or Bobby.
Or Bobby, right? He usually goes in on those guys. So anyway, Kung,
big dog.
Has Bobby Portis released a statement?
What his agent did.
No, has he said anything?
I don't know if. I don't know if did he say something?
Has he not? I don't. I said I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just looking to see.
He did
say something. He did.
So he just apologized. He said that he made a mistake. It was wrong on him. He shouldn't have done it. He took full ownership of it. And, if you're from that 414, like a lot of us are, or have a tie to it, it wasn't no Ryan Braun stuff where he's trying to pass the buck on to someone else. He said he messed up. His agent is the one that said that it was the assistant with the prescription, blase. Bobby just took ownership of it. Hey, real quick, Trey, I know you're going to Game Boss, but I was listening to the homie Sparky today, and he was talking about how the Bucks really fumbled his bag because he could have just been suspended around Thanksgiving and came back in January. What do y'all two brothers think about
Okay.
waiting to get this suspension now
point.
versus doing it earlier on in the year?
So I'll go first. Here's what I think on that's a good point. What I think they really this is what I think. I believe they really do believe that there was a mix up in the drugs. And again, we talked about this last night, JT. No excuses. I have zero excuses. This is bonehead, right, from Bobby Portis, because you just can't make that mistake. And again, it goes back to if you're using the team doctors, and the team doctors will tell you, hey, always go to us for whatever prescription, blah, blah. I think if this had been a team doctor mistake or mishap, I bet you the league works with you. I bet you he doesn't get suspended at all if they're able to prove that it was the team who messed this up. But he doesn't run this by the team. Everybody got all this money. They run it by their own people, and that's where you got, whoever he got, homeboy, Jim, John out there, Pookie Ray done gave him the tramadol. Hey, go pick up this. Hey, Pookie, go pick up the Toradol, and you go in and pick up the tramadol. See that was his problem. But I'll say this. I think that they thought. I do think it was a mix-up. It is believable that there's a mix-up. I just believe that they thought that they could get this reduced or taken down. I think they knew he was probably gonna be suspended, but it seems like they've tried, because what they've worked out already is they're gonna because I think you can get suspended and just no contact, you're done. See you in 25 games. What they worked out was he will be able to come around the team. He'll be able to practice at the facility. He'll be able to do everything. He just has to leave the facility 2 hours before the game starts. And I think they're working on whether he's going to be able to travel. I don't know if they've got that fixed out yet on whether he's going to be able to travel with the team. But I think they thought they were going to be able to, Sparky's point, I think they thought they were going to be able to get it reduced from maybe 25 to 10 or something like that because of the mix-up. Because this, like you said, you're correct. They knew about this back in wherever it was, September, October, whenever they knew about it, and they could have got this out the way. I think they were working really hard to see if anything would change. Nothing changed, and so to your point, they chose not to officially, because my Portis could have officially appealed it. They chose not to officially appeal it because this is the last moment that you could do it and get 25 games in and still be ready for the playoffs. So they did wait to the absolute last moment. But again, I think the question was, would they be able to get it to where, hey, can we get it to 10? Can we get to 15? Hey, honest mistake, whatever it was. They weren't able to do that. Strict liability, whatever you want to call it. But I don't. I guess I'll say this. I don't know if it was a fumble. It was had to happen at some point. I don't know. I don't know. Would you rather get to 25? Because that's, again, it goes. Well, I'll just say this last thing. Goes to your point though. You knew Khris Middleton. So here's a good point. If you knew Khris Middleton was going to be on a minutes limit and was going to be missing games, could you really afford to have Bobby out for 25? Giannis already had the calf issue, so could you? No, you probably. So if I'm the Bucks, I'm probably thinking, no, I need Bobby to play as much as he can. And now that we have Kuzma in here, now we got Jericho Sims, now we have a few more reinforcements that we can play some of these guys. So I think maybe that was part of the thought process too. I don't know.
Well, and you gamble, but keep in mind how bad the start of the season was too. That probably factored into it too. It's like, listen, we were, shin deep in the quicksand in the beginning when it was 2-8, and it was looking bad at that point. So I think panic bells inside I don't think the team was panicking, but I wonder if the front office was also like, look, we got to get this thing on the right track. And I think at that point you did have to keep Bobby around. One thing I'll give the Bucks credit for, though, is having the foresight to say, if we appeal it now, there's a chance that we could end up missing time in the playoffs. So, you're not doubling down on your gamble at that point. You're basically saying, we lost this. Let's just ride this thing out. Let him come back, a week or 10 days or whatever it is before the end of the regular season. He'll be able to practice, and we can still put ourselves in the best chance to be competitive in the playoffs. But I do think that the start of the season probably did contribute to why decisions were made in the nature of the ways that they were made, especially since, like Trey said, Khris was out too.
Nah, man, those are all great points, man. I hate it, man. I feel like and we talked about this a little bit last night, JT, when you was on your Dame Lillard, but
hey man, my son had norovirus And let me just tell y'all something, man. Those of y'all who don't have kids, those of y'all who have kids, y'all know. You know, my son is 6 years old, right? They get sick, and the stuff that comes out of kid, man, I ain't never seen nothing like it. Look up, y'all can Google norovirus if you want to. It's gonna come out of both ends for most folks. I didn't have it. Yes, I was on. You're right. I was on my dame. my dame.
Non-COVID illness.
JT.
Hey, man.
JT, you just messed it up. Man. It's funny. It's funnier to say you're on your dame. Now you brought real life problems, and I feel like a JA for saying it. You know, it's just funny. It's not serious. It's funny. JT's on load management. He lives in Chicago where gummies are legal. He takes his sleeping gummy. He goes to sleep at 7:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, and he wakes up ready to go and be the best lawyer in the country. I'm just saying, bro. But no, hey, Bobby, you got to do better. This is something that costs. It costs the Milwaukee Bucks. It costs the Cream City crossover show for if y'all believe in that. But it also costs the entire city of Milwaukee, man. There's kids that look up to you. And it's just a bad example. You cannot take a pill from someone else and say, oh, I thought it was this. Like, you just can't. Your vessel is your body, and that's your profession. Like, you two brothers are the smartest lawyers with hella stock options, so you can't put something bad in your brain.
Excuse me, sir. Hold on. Let me correct you for a second. Let me correct you.
What a resident court the show, by the way.
Trey's so damn fancy, they're not called stock options. They're called long-term incentives. That's what they're called. Long-term incentives.
Right.
And if you want to be fancy with it, restricted stock units. Yes, RSUs. This guy. Let me tell you something about Trey Crosby.
I ain't looking into the black cards. I'll tell you that.
JT, so you said when Middleton moved to Washington, Trey gonna get his home as a vacation home?
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen, right? That's exactly what's gonna happen. Trey got a house on the street. At least a condo, got a townhome or something.
We ain't got none of that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about there. Our guy in the chat.
Yeah, I know you.
Go ahead.
JT, right though, because I be sending y'all. This how I know y'all real rich, and I just be playing. Because like Bucks Pro Shop be having like additional 40% off clearance. I send that to y'all, JT and Trey, and even Chris King, because he the upcoming rich dude. Y'all be like, man, I ain't buying no clearance stuff. What's wrong with you?
No, you know, it is what it is. I just don't buy jerseys. That's just my thing. I buy a Bucks team shirt, I buy whatever. I just don't buy jerseys. I feel like once I hit 30, I was like, I got to stop doing this. I'm not going to buy a jersey.
Ain't no wrong with jersey.
I buy a jersey. I buy something fresh. I'm just not going to put another man's name on my back. That's all I'm saying. Like, I said that's my only thing. I put Bucks across my chest, but I ain't going to put another man's name on my back. That's just how I handle. That's just how I feel about it. I'm not going to knock y'all for doing that. I'm not going to knock y'all for doing it. Y'all do your thing. I'm just not going to put another man's name across my back. That's it.
You know, different strokes, different folks.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking y'all though.
Yeah. What I said? What you put on? Well, you put on the
so
Ralph. You put on the Ralph.
Really
Ralph you put the Ralph Lauren on. You gonna put the Ralph. You put the Ralph. You put
on
it
my
different
on my back.
On your
back.
On your back. On your front.
On my back. Hold on. There is a cringeworthy moment. There's a cringeworthy moment on this show. You know what it was?
What's that?
I said I'm not gonna put another man's name on my back.
Yeah, that's crazy work.
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then what did you say?
No.
It don't matter where you put it. You can put it anywhere. Now Trey tripping. Here we go. Yeah, now he wild.
You putting it on there. It's crazy. It's crazy work.
Bro. Hey,
it's crazy work. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, yo.
Kung Fu Kenny is in it. I'm trying to get us back on track. Kung Fu Kenny is in here, and he's upset that we have not given Ryan Rollins his proper respect tonight. He said Rollins was 15-4-4 after not playing yesterday, and y'all glazing Porter. Shit's weird. He said Rollins is the most invisible player. No matter how good he plays, y'all won't give him props. Yeah. Listen to this, man. That's what I say. This is what I say. Number one, you talking about. I have to say this before we go to game ball. On Ryan Rollins, I think we might have been some of the first people in the Bucks Twitter. We were Talk about people who wanted Ryan. I know on this show for sure.
Huge
We
Ryan
were some of
Rollins
the
fan.
first people that were begging for Ryan Rollins minutes. Now, Ryan Rollins has been ass for a few weeks now coming into it, and he's damn near not about to get it. And we would want to say, hey, guarantee his deal. And then, it's one of those things where you think you got something, and then you look up and I see Kevin Porter Jr. Oh, now that's a little different. Ryan Rollins can't get to a shot like Kevin Porter Jr. He's not a better player than Kevin Porter Jr. I say that. But Ryan Rollins, tonight, Ryan Rollins had a hell of a game tonight. So again, I'm not gonna say that we don't give him his proper credit. Yes, he had a hell of a game tonight. He has, over the past few weeks, when he should have been fighting for when he has been fighting for that guaranteed deal, he has not played like a guy who, again, and I think here's the biggest thing about Rollins. And tonight he did it a little bit. You got to be able to get your own shot. Mm-hmm. That is huge, especially with losing Khris Middleton, because you can say whatever you want about Khris Middleton. Khris Middleton and Kuzma can't do this. This is one thing that Kuzma cannot do as well as Khris Middleton. Khris Middleton had the ability to get his own shot, even under duress, under pressure, whatever. Kyle Kuzma does a lot of different things. He's not a better, just pure shot creator on his own than Khris Middleton was at his prime or even post-prime, whatever you want to say. So you need more guys that can do that. And Rollins struggles with that, especially when I look at Kevin Porter Jr. That's it. And so y'all act like he gets the best minutes. That's all. I don't know what that. I don't know what y'all act like he gets the best minutes. But okay. Well, I get no. So I think what he's saying here is, yeah, he's not playing with like Giannis and Dame and those stuff. Yeah, you're not that guy. You're not going to get. You got to take advantage of the minutes that you get. For example, Kevin Porter Jr. last night against the Clippers, when the Bucks were when the Bucks were on the verge of losing that thing last night, what did Kevin Porter Jr. do last night? What did he do? What did he do, Justin?
Put us on his back.
Third quarter, put on the back.
Put us on his back.
But I mean, bucket. But he go on a personal 9-0 run. Like, that's the difference. So again, I don't want to take anything away from Ryan Rollins. I think he's younger than Kevin Porter Jr. too. I think I would not be upset if the Bucks went and signed and did do the guaranteed deal for Rollins.
I think he's earned that overall. He's earned that.
And I said this last night. Here's my question though. So here's my question. Knowing that Bobby Portis will miss 25 games, would you rather bring in a big? Now again, if you're gonna play Tyler Smith, maybe you don't. But there's no indication that the Bucks are going to go to Tyler Smith. So do you feel like you should sign a big instead of signing another guard? Because you already got Kevin Porter Jr. now. Do you do that? I don't know. It's a good. I don't think you go wrong either way. He has earned it. He's earned it.
That's a good point. And I mean, we could comb through some of the bigs that are available at this point, but I think you've got to at least look into doing that. And because you could have a glaring need at that, especially if you got to sit down Giannis for a little bit too. You could have a big hole down there with your big. So yeah,
Dwight Howard.
Say what? You said Juwan Howard.
I said Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard?
Dwight.
Nah. Because I don't know if he's gonna leave Kitty wherever she at. I can't trust Dwight. I personally, just to be straight with you, I don't think Dwight can enter another NBA locker room at this point. I just don't think. I just feel like players would be like,
calm down. Go ahead. I'll let you slide.
I think you gotta
Christian Wood.
I think he's hit hurt. That Shaq West, man.
Oh, was he hurt?
Mo Bamba?
Yeah. Who?
Is Mo Bamba still available?
Yeah, he's available.
So hey, one thing to oh yeah, buyout, isn't he, Trey?
Yeah, he's available. Bamba's available.
But look, one thing to what's his name? Kung Fu Kenny? That's what his name is? Kung Fu Kenny.
Hey, that ain't no boy, is it?
But I
Olympic silver medalist? Nah, that ain't Kung Fu. Kung Fu Kenny. Bednarik.
No. I hope not. But no, like, we really appreciate you coming. We really appreciate your take. Hey, but my guy, you're like, that's the most, like, first of all, outside of the three of us, Chris King has been, since we signed this dude, because he's an Ohio dude. Yes. Chris King has been all over this.
Holy Toledo.
Begging, yelling, kicking, screaming for minutes for Ryan Rollins. praising him. And dog, we finna get to these game balls, so just sit tight, Kung Fu Kenny. My bad, JT. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
And no, you're good. And Kung Fu Kenny. Ryan Rollins was balling earlier this year. We did support that. And quite honestly, Ryan Rollins was balling up until that shoulder injury. That shoulder injury happened, and then you saw some things kind of slow down a little bit, and a little bit of regression there. But we were Ryan Rollins fans and have been Ryan Rollins fans. Pick an episode, especially in that December time when we start talking about that. So I will throw that out there. And look, Ryan Rollins, I like Ryan. He's talented. He's aggressive. You remember what got Ryan Rollins on the map is when Doc started giving him minutes. We talked about Doc needing to play youth with the youth movement.
Yes.
And we started talking about, and we saw Ryan Rollins out there DM boys up.
Yep.
Yeah.
We saw Ryan Rollins out there playing defense.
Yeah.
On multiple players. Yeah, we saw him balling. So.
And like I said, I hope he gets it because I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him have to go to Target and be out there taking stuff. So I hope he gets his guaranteed deal so he can do that and he ain't got to go up in the Target.
And try do everything but use the self checkout.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. All right, let's do game balls.
Or debit card.
Let's do game balls. Where you guys going game ball? I'll let you guys go. Go first.
Right, bro, you were stealing toothpaste from Target. You stole $1,000 worth of toothpaste and deodorant. What are we doing?
Go ahead, Justin. You got it.
What are we doing?
Start us off.
Get yourself an Amex.
I'm gonna go to Ryan Rollins. Shout out to you, Kung Fu Kenny. Off the rip. And that's where I was going anyway before you put the chat in there. Like, the kid came out, he played great. He struggles with certain things. But the fact is he's getting better, and the kid can hoop, man. So I'm going to go Ryan Rollins tonight, man.
All right. JT?
I'm going to go with a fella that we had criticized for a very long time, but tonight we won this game in large part because of him and the way he pulled this thing off in that last 40 seconds. I'm going to go with Brook Lopez. 5 for 8 from the field, 2 for 4 from the 3-point line, 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. Brook Lopez, enjoy your game ball, sir.
There you go. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the guy. We were talking about the revenge game from Khris Middleton. I'm gonna go with the revenge game. Kyle Kuzma led scoring for the Bucks tonight. 19 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal. 8 of 19 tonight was a plus 12 tonight, and then he had two great defensive possessions late against Khris Middleton. So Kyle Kuzma gets my game ball tonight. I don't think you can go wrong there. Mark Gomes has a question. He says, "Why would you move Bobby? Makes zero sense with the mediocre bench as it is. He's a top 5 bench player from a production standpoint." Well, I guess so. Let me answer this though. Bobby Portis, and this is why. Trying to think this through.
You're having a good night, Trey.
What? No, I'm just saying. Bobby Portis is more important now than he was before the deadline. I say that because, again, you lost some scoring, but he also you added more defense and athleticism around Bobby Portis. We talked about this before, but the thing about trading Bobby, if you were going to do it, it's not like he sucks. That's never what we were saying.
Right.
The issue, and the whole point of trading people, you trade people, you don't trade trash guys. Khris Middleton's older, expired contract, but you don't trade guys. It's tough to trade. Like Luka Doncic got traded. He got traded because he's a very good player. Anthony Davis got traded, very good player. Like people get traded. You're not trading good for bad, typically, right? Like that's not how trades go. There's either some potential, there's picks, whatever, however you want to do it. But Bobby Portis for the Bucks, it was getting tougher because you have a team that needs more defense prior to the deadline, and he gets exposed a lot easier on the defensive end. Now, if you put more defense around him, well, there's less exposure going on. His offensive game looks even better because even if you get cooked defensively, there's just more around. There's more rim protection. There's more guys. The help is better. Getting out to the 3-point line is better. Everything, when the defense around you is better, you in turn, your defense is going to look better. That's just how that goes. So I think now with what the Bucks have now going, again, when he gets back from his suspension, he's in a better position to succeed because even that second unit from a defensive standpoint, let's say he's out there with Kevin Porter Jr., Well, Kevin Porter Jr. is not allowing straight line drives. He's a much better defender. You have a Gary Trent that's going to be out there maybe with him. Again, you just have better options. You have maybe Kyle Kuzma's going to be out there with him. You just have better options. And I think what hurt him all the time is he would be out there with Brook Lopez, with Dame would be out there. You just have a lot of trash and so many straight line drives. It just was a much tougher task for Bobby Portis. So I think now you have a better defense around him. His offensive game can still flourish. It's even more offensive game gets to flourish because now you don't have to contend with Khris Middleton being out there too. So I think it's a better situation for him. So again, I like him where he is now, and that's what I was saying. If you were going to trade Bobby Portis, put him. If he's on a team that has a good defense around him, he's fine. And you look again tonight, the Bucks only give him 101 points on a back-to-back. That's a very good defensive night for the Milwaukee Bucks. I get it to watch the Wizards. It's a very good night for the Bucks defensively. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Let's look around the NBA. 104-101. Bucks beat the Washington Wizards tonight. The Thunder are up on the Jazz by 15 into the third. T-Wolves and Rockets are in a battle right now, 81-82. Warriors are up 15 on the Kings. The Grizzlies are the Grizzlies beat the Magic. That's a good win that's good for the Bucks. Grizzlies do beat the Magic tonight. 105-104. Magic now dropped to 28-30. That was a team a lot of people had some high hopes for. They're starting to fall off a little bit as they dealt with some injuries, but the injuries are back now, still have some issues. Cavs beat the Knicks 142-105. My goodness. That is an impressive score for the Cleveland Cavaliers in a game that was on national TV. I just want to see some of the numbers. Karl Towns at 23, Brunson 26, Evan Mobley 21, Donovan Mitchell 27. They got 19 from Ty Jerome, 16 from DeAndre Hunter. Yeah, man, that's a good team over there in Cleveland, man. Heat beat the Raptors tonight, and the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd finds a way to get it done, 111-103 over the Pelicans, and then the Detroit Pistons. They keep rolling, 125-110 over the Spurs. Anything else you guys wanted to get into on the look around? I don't know that I have much. Marquette got rolled tonight. Dayton lost tonight. I don't know that I have. I don't know that I got a lot that I wanted to get into. You guys let me know if there's anything you want.
Man, go ahead.
I just want to shout out Bart Lundy with these Milwaukee Panthers tonight, going into Chris King's area, Youngstown State, getting probably the biggest win in Milwaukee Panthers basketball history prior to our Sweet 16, which was about 20 years ago. Hey, man, shout out to Bart Lundy and Lundy We Trust. Great win for the Milwaukee Panthers basketball. But Trey, you're absolutely right, man. We didn't just play Nova tonight. We played Supernova. And them boys put belt to ass on Marquette tonight, man. Tough night.
Yeah.
We 2 for 3 tonight, man.
And speaking of Marquette, I do want to shout out Jim Jones. Jersey retired at Marquette. Jim Jones the other night. So big time baller, was played in the league, did some radio work for the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of Marquette's finest. Go ahead.
Salute to Jim Jones.
Jones.
By the way, Justin, Jim what?
Jones.
Oh, Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim Jones. Salute to Jim Jones. Okay, all right. What you say? Open up your damn mouth when you
open your mouth is crazy.
That's what you said.
I ain't say nothing about opening your mouth. Go ahead. I ain't say none of that.
Oh man.
He tells you turn your Dipset mixtape down.
Turn it. Hey, why Jim Jones still in the streets at like the tender age of 50? I don't understand what that man Jim Jones is doing. He's still on the block at the tender age of 50. Like, Jim, what are we doing? Go to bed. You know you tired at 7:30. I don't know why you outside at night, hanging out on random picnic benches in neighborhood. I can't, Jim Jones. I really can't. But figure it out. You gotta figure it out. You somebody's granddad. You know you somebody's granddad. Come on, man. Anyway, yeah, look, I think, and by the way, Justin, let me straighten you out a little bit, right? Dayton is like 4 hours away from Youngstown. That ain't Chris King Hood. That ain't Chris King Hood. No, sir. You ever been to Youngstown? Nah, you don't want to do it. Hey, just go ahead, stop right on by. Keep that thing pushing, boy, in Youngstown. You don't want to do that. No, trust me, you do not want to do that. But no, yeah, man. And we talked about this yesterday as well. I know you guys talked about this. You guys really kind of dug into it. But look, another day is going by. And hey, did Giannis request a trade today?
Nope.
Did Giannis request a trade today? No, absolutely not. But according to ESPN, I guess somebody gonna say he did. Somebody gonna say something, right? I know you guys talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I want to get a couple thoughts out on this. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that what I get the trade speculation, I get all of it. I understand that for ratings and clicks. But what bothers me a little bit is they just won't let that man be happy in Milwaukee, right? Like they just won't let that man be happy in Milwaukee, and they really never have since he's ascended to superstar status. It's always been he's looking to go here, he's looking to leave, and that's kind of crazy to me because it's like, well, look, I think we all get it. It's a business. Players say I'd never get traded. Agents come out with these statements. 90% of them aren't true because, they say I won't get traded. Well, that's as of the date hereof. I put that in all of our contracts, right? As of the date hereof. That doesn't mean that tomorrow that sentiment doesn't change or the decision happens, somebody gets injured or something like that too. But one thing that I really find just a bit annoying about national media is that they do constantly push this narrative of Giannis wants out, Giannis doesn't want to be here, Giannis wants out. And I just don't understand where it comes from because Giannis has never said that. You've just never seen him do that. Now, I get it. He's done the podcast. He's trying to keep the organization accountable. On the other hand, though, is Giannis' agent playing games? Is Giannis' agent saying this is a way to keep our foot on the necks of the franchise if there are rumors that, you can't just take this man for granted and he would be here forever? Is that true? Because that's what agents' jobs. The agents' jobs are to act in the best interest of their clients. It's not necessarily to tell the truth. It's to act in the best interest of their client. So just something to think about with that. I think this whole thing is a bit annoying at this point. And, let's enjoy Giannis when we have him here. But again, guys, it's highly unlikely that I think he does retire here as a Buck. It's just it's too hard to that's too hard to conceive of at this point because stuff can change. Things happen. Sentiments change. Injuries happen. Team turnover, organizational dysfunction. Having said that, we got the best player in the world right now. We need to take advantage of it.
Absolutely, the window's now. You have to take advantage of it, and we'll see. We'll see how this thing ends up as the regular season concludes and as the postseason concludes. The Bucks have about 27 or so more games, whatever it is, to finish through the regular season, and we'll see what they do. 2-0 post All-Star break. That's good stuff from the Bucks. I did want to take a look though at the. I did want to take a look really quick just at the schedule because somebody mentioned it, and I just wanted to see what it looks like coming up. So you have the Heat on, I think that's Sunday. A couple days after that, you have. Now, of course, I can't. Of course, I said I want to look at the schedule. Let me go to it.
At Houston.
Then you're right. I just want to. Okay, why am I not in February? Where we at? It's February, right?
Thursday is at Denver. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
That's the 27th. 27th at Denver.
I'm all off. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
okay, so Sunday
Sunday
you have the Heat. 25th on Tuesday you have Houston on the road. You got Denver at home on Thursday. These are again Miami's gonna be a tough game on Sunday. The Rockets are always a tough game. Denver, is gonna be a tough game, especially. And again, the question is Giannis gonna be on a minutes limit? That's going to be a very tough game if Giannis on a minutes restriction. You have Dallas, who, they still play hard.
You got a very tough week in March there.
But
tough 10-day stretch in March.
Yeah, it really is. Dallas, Atlanta, you know what Trae Young does to you. Dallas again. Orlando is a stinker, but you have a back-to-back Orlando-Cleveland. Cleveland, you know what they've been doing. The Pacers are a team you might end up seeing in the playoffs. The Lakers are a very tough team. Pacers again. Then you have back-to-back Pacers, OKC. Oh, you got Golden State coming in on Tuesday.
I mean,
it is a tough stretch. Like March is a very, very tough stretch for the Bucks. And so again, it's really going to be interesting to see the health of Giannis and where they're at and how they finish this thing up. You're going to be tried and tested as you get to the playoffs. Is all I'm saying.
So looking at the March schedule at this point. I do think that it's in our interest to where if Giannis needs rest legitimately to get this calf issue behind him, I think you Damn, I lost y'all. Did I lose y'all?
You're back.
But I think you may decide to sit Giannis for a bit to have him rest up because this March could be very ugly if we don't have him out there. And I would rather see a healthy Giannis instead of a hobbled Giannis.
It's a gauntlet. Like, there's no question about it. And again, I think it just depends on how Giannis feels. And yeah, if he has to miss a couple of those games in there, that's fine. I think you're also watching the schedule. I don't know. I don't know. I definitely worry about the health. Again, the main thing. He's got to be available and ready to play in the playoffs. But I think that's why it's important. It was important last night against the Clippers. Tonight was an important win against Washington, and I think Sunday afternoon, evening is going to be important to play against Miami. You got to win the games you should win. You have to win those. JT, you talked about splitting, and then you can split. Like I said, if you need to split Houston and Denver, fine by me. Go ahead, but you got to win the games you're supposed to win. No question about it.
So for March, when I'm looking at it, I would hope for a 9-7, 10-6 March. That would be absolutely ecstatic. I mean, an 8-8 March wouldn't be the worst thing in the world when you're looking at this gauntlet. I think the two most important games in that entire month are those Indiana Pacer games. You win those games, separate yourself from them, get to that 4 seed. Let's hope the New York Knicks trip and bump their toe going down this finish line and we get to that 3 seed. But I don't know. Hey, get to 4 and, hey, man, like we said, like I told y'all brothers on T's and Q's during the Packers playoff run, you're going to have to play good teams regardless. It's the playoffs. So get to 4, host them games, and then 1, 2, whoever we got in the second round, hey, man, lay some joints up because Kuz going to show up, KPJ going to show up, GTJ going to show up, Dame going to show what time it is, and Giannis he about to set the world on fire in these playoffs, man. It's our time. Our time is now.
I like it. I like the energy. We haven't seen Giannis in the playoffs in the capacity we know he could be in for a couple years, so we definitely want to see it. Charles Miller says, thanks again, guys. You are the best. Alpha Leopard says, have a great night, guys. Thank you. Thank you, dude. A great show as always. Appreciate it. Trina says she's late to the show. But hello. I know you'll watch it back as you as you jump in here. I know she might have some things to say, JT. But again, that's for another day. As you know, as we get into the to the trade and Giannis stuff. But that's it tonight. Let's take a break. I don't want to get into it. We'll go down the rabbit hole, be here for another hour. Good stuff.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Everybody need to go to bed. I know y'all boys' eyes weigh 10,000 pounds right now. Everybody need to go to bed.
That's what I'm saying. So again, appreciate everybody. JT, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, JT, you gotta come back Sunday because you got a Sunday date with Miss Trina. That's all I'm gonna say.
A Sunday date with Miss Trina?
Yeah, she wants to smoke. Man.
It's early.
She wants to smoke.
Yeah, it's early on Sunday, so we'll see how that one goes. Bucks win it tonight, 104-101. Good stuff, hey yo. Good stuff from the Bucks as they beat.
Well, that's better than never mind. That's better than the man's name on the back. Wherever you want to put it.
Back in front.
Hey, yo.
104-101. Bucks beat the Wizards tonight. They get a win on the back-to-back. Want to appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. Appreciate you guys for listening. If you listen on YouTube, if you listen on Twitter, watch us however you did it. We appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to the show. We really appreciate that. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend about the Cream City crossover here. It's the best Milwaukee Bucks post-game show after every single Milwaukee Bucks game. I want to thank our sponsors tonight, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Go out to Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Enjoy yourself out there. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, proud sponsor of the Cream City crossover. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Groove Truck Officer III.
JT.
Justin.
You know what it is. If we are enemies, only because we dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wood nickels. Courage.